7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. As long as I stay until 11 o'clock, this counts as all nighter. Yeah. I'm going to start watermelon out. Let's try to start watermelon out.
But your first exam and X-ray assessment that was free for patients without insurance. That's right. For a limited time, new patients.
We go way back. After 1 year, no me. Growth, man. What? That's growth, man. What are you talking about? That's my thing. Look at me. Come in here. Right? I'm down, dog. Hey, baby. Gonna come? What the? Boy, that's never gonna happen. Come on, boy. He's like, get in here. Oh, there you go. Fuck are you? I'm gonna hate me. You need ass haircut. You gotta get some business on your dick. Oh. Hey! Hey, what's that stretch of the pants? I'm blind. I'm black. Likewise. Sit down. I'm blind. I'm black. I'm blind. I'm Chinese. I have a confession to make. What is it? I'm stupid. And blind. I'm black. Die, die, do. Die, 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 do. How are you, Water? What? Hey, man, what's funny? Yeah. Are you Water? No, I'm black. Water. How you do that? Blind. You should not get coming. That's the whole story I've had. Get out the gate. The gate. Call the gate. What? Oh, shit. Gate. Come in here, come in here, come in here, come in here. Hey, thanks, Carl. Hey, what's wrong with you? Man, cough. It's something you ain't telling me, man. Nah, baby. I need to get back to the crib. Yeah, okay. Nah. Hey, Big Smoke. I see you right. You always been there for me, man. Hey, Chef. Oh, okay. I'm a free. I suss you also. What are you thinking, man? Look, y'all boys got to relax more, man. Smoke, stop the clip. Oh, hey, chill, chill. Damn, honey. Put it. Yo, yeah. Woozy left a message say I gotta go just put it. Then I can just Woozy. Then I can want me to roll with you. No. You gotta get out of my fucking garage, eh? Where did you get that? My pants on. What? Check this out, man. This is a guy. For real? Hey, PJ, watch this. Nitro. Uh-oh. Be more careful. Roman Heights ball second. Let's do this. No. Pull that trigger now. Well, I was just about to shoot you. I said pull that trigger now. Come on, baby. I'm fucked up. Come on, man. Pull that trigger now. You ever want to run some shit for me? Just chip in. I've always got shit to more for me. You ever don't be shit to me? I've got some shit. You ever for me? You ever want some shit? Shit to more. Hey, smoke. Oh, shit. What's wrong with you, man? Come on, man. Is you gonna die or what? Well, I gotta go tell Sweet about it. Let's do it. Good. Shut up, I'm sore. I got those shoes that shoes that always been there for. Good. Marco. So you dragged me way across town to see this rock? Yeah, I am. That's the motherfucking problem. And it ain't even the beginning. Smoke, what you ate? Chill the fuck out, man. How'd you get in here, man? Chill the fuck out. Oh, okay. Oh, now you get this straight. Enough is enough. I have had it with this motherfucking fat piece of shit.
He's doing all nighter, guys. So
Hi, I'm Emma Chamberlain,
My name is Amy Manzor, Amy Kelly.
Albert Muskies.
and this is my vintage
Session.
Confession.
I'm an idiot. HowdyIdiot.net.
All over me, the room is what's kind of irritating. It's getting irritating. I've never had a can, new or old, ever explode like that. But I can tell it's a very greasy product. And yes, I'm using a different can opener today, the Black & Decker. Because I only use my old rival can opener for old food. Oh, I do not look forward to cleaning this room. Not at all. But I'm hoping this will attract some kind of animal outside. I gotta wash my hands again.
So how's everyone doing this lovely afternoon? This lovely afternoon.
Oh, it's full spring.
We're gonna be on here for a couple hours. We're gonna be on here maybe till 11 tonight, maybe 12. It's a couple hours from now, so who knows how long we'll be on for.
Well, here we have it. I'm gonna show this to you guys after I wash my hands again. When this thing sprayed, it's all over the back of the camera screen. Some of it's probably on the lens. It's probably a little bit into this carpet. I'm hoping it goes away. Oh wow, it has to be on the wall the way it's sprayed. I don't see it. I'm hoping the smell just disappears. I'm not going to open some windows as soon as I'm done with this. You don't want, there's a lot of traffic going by. I keep the windows shut. And for me, look at this. This fish has to be rotting or something. You see that? It's continuing to bubble. It's continuing to bubble. But I have to give this a taste test. This can cost whole $35. Oh, that is so foul and gross. Oh my gosh. Yeah, now that's out of the can, it makes you want to puke. Oh, this is so bad. Yeah, now I can really understand why so many people bought this recyclable this. Look, it's still bubbling. There's bubble coming out of the fish's skin between the meat. That's why it has so much pressure. It's the product just building pressure in there. Because the can, it doesn't look bulged anymore. It went back to its normal shape now that the pressure's gone. Alright, we got oh, look at that. It's weird. The fish's tail is moving. It's like straightening out now that it's out of the can. Alright, let's give this a taste test and get this out into the yard. Hopefully, something comes to eat it.
New Soft Ambition by L'Oreal Paris. Instant glass-like shine. You're worth it. Obvio, el primer anticonceptivo diario sin receta aprobado por la FDA. Sin receta, sin citas, sin inconvenientes. Gemini, can you talk about...
Well, isn't it? This speech fair for me. This is like a sentence. Just add it and we'll talk. Whoa, that's a pretty big hole. How can I help? You know that drywall. Patching a hole can be easier than it looks.
And shows up soon. Usually comes by every...
Strength. Conviction. We will meet each new challenge with the same aggressive attitude.
On this episode of Mythbusters, that was some nice slides. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. The great questions of the internet. As the massive controversy of playing on a treadmill finally gets put to the test.
I'm good to go. Over.
Can an airplane really take off on a giant conveyor belt?
Beautiful.
Then Tori, Grant, and Carrie bug out with creepy crawlies.
Oh, there's so many in there.
With the classic myth, can cockroaches survive the radiation from a nuclear bomb? Finally, the team blow an internet prank out of all proportion. When they find out if foam can really soil a sedan.
This is more than a prank. This is evil.
Who are the Mythbusters? It's time to blow some stuff up. Adam Savage. This is killing me. And Jamie Heineman. That was fun. Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. This is the kind of thing I do on the weekend. Joining them, Carrie Byron.
Come over here, you smell that?
Red Inohara.
He's alive!
And Tori Belleci.
This is starting to feel like a bad idea.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. And first up, a myth that's caused a fan site frenzy.
I gotta tell you, this next myth, man, is super controversial. There's literally thousands of pages of the most vitriolic discussions on both the Worldwide Web and the Discovery fan side about this next myth.
So that probably means that we're doing plane on a conveyor belt.
Exactly right. Let me spell it out for you. Normally, a plane sits on a runway, spins up its engines, moves forward, gets enough air over the wings, and takes off. But in this case, the plane is sitting not on the runway, but a huge conveyor belt that is matching the plane's forward speed in reverse. The grand question is, can the plane take off? The myth is that it can't.
Well, I know what I think.
Keep it to yourself because we're going to test it out.
It's a complex myth that's driven a fan side wild, and it's definitely one to get you thinking. If an airplane is on a conveyor belt and both are going the plane's takeoff speed but in opposite directions, what will happen? Some say the plane will take off. Others say the plane will be held in place. But what do you think?
How are we going to test this?
I figure the best thing is, as always, to start small. Let's go get the simplest conveyor belt we have access to.
That'd be my treadmill.
Exactly. Put a model plane on it and see what happens when we put those two things together. I also think I know the exact model plane I want to use. Grant has a ton of experience flying it and might be able to teach us.
Okay.
Perfect.
So to curtail this controversy, they need a conveyor belt and an airplane. And Grant's been drafted in to help Adam and Jamie get their wings.
Hey, can you teach me how to fly this to the airplane on a conveyor belt? Absolutely. All right, let's go.
With years of experience under his belt and an unhealthy intimacy with remote-controlled vehicles, Grant makes flying look like child's play.
I'm getting dizzy. I'm going to throw up.
I am too. Yeah.
But can he pass on his flight skills so Adam and Jamie can get this contentious myth off the ground?
Okay, guys. So this is a park flyer. It's a very slow directional controls. It gets ratcheted so you can keep a position, which trim it out so that you kind of scale. That makes it perfect for a beginning flyer.
Grant makes it all sound so easy. But already, Jamie has some grave concerns.
I don't know if I can handle this actually. We're using this particular item the way that it was intended.
And leaving Jamie stunned, Adam's cleared for takeoff.
Good. My prediction for Adam is he's got an exuberant personality. He is likely to crash as fast as possible. Jamie, on the other hand, has a very controlled personality. He is likely to fly a very controlled pattern.
That was some nice slide.
In fact, the man with the flyboy mustache proves to be something like the Red Baron. With acrobatics like that, he's qualified as chief aviator on the test. But will it be enough to quell the quarreling caused by this man?
Well, gentlemen, looks like you've got things under control here. Reasonably, thanks for your help. All right.
Thanks, Grant.
Okay. I'm gonna take a leak. Oh, okay. As long as it's telling you till midnight, as long as it's staying before home. I'll stand for a couple hours. Doesn't matter.
Good luck. Thanks. I think we're gonna need it. Now, if you've never heard of this next myth, you must live in a nuclear bunker.
The next myth is a super creepy, crawly one, and I'm not really happy about it. It's about cockroaches.
Ugh, I hate cockroaches. All right, so what's the myth?
The myth is a classic that everyone's heard of, that cockroaches will be the only things to survive a nuclear blast.
Well, that sounds cool, but how are we going to test this without killing ourselves?
Here's food for thought. Like it or not, cockroaches are everywhere. And so far, they've survived 300 million years on this planet. But can they really survive a nuclear explosion?
Specifically, this myth is about the radiation that the cockroaches would get from the nuclear blast and not the blast itself, because basically that's going to be so hot it's going to fry anything anyway.
All right, so how are we going to test this? Get some cockroaches and a nuclear bomb?
Yeah, the roaches are going to be the easy thing. The radiation might be a little harder.
Well,
Ooh.
I think for completeness, we should try a few other types of insects, just to make sure the cockroaches are the only thing that'll survive.
Why don't we do fruit flies? Because that's a classic insect for these types of experiments. We'll also do flower beetles because they're very tough.
So it's an all-star insect lineup, including flower beetles and fruit flies. But first up, the guys get face to antenna with the principal parasite for this parable.
Okay, guys, here's the box. I'm sure the delivery guy is very excited to not open up in his truck. These are cockroaches.
Say guten Tag to the German cockroach.
German cockroach?
They cause allergic reactions in people
Oh, there's so many in there. Ugh.
and have even been known to feed on human nighttime dribble.
Ew, that is so dirty.
But will the deadly radiation described in the myth get the better of them?
Oh, this guy's like a sprinter.
Where'd he go? Before the myth gets going, the guys first need to check the specimens are in tip-top condition. And what better way than a roach race?
Get to the start line. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Famed, at least in this myth, for its resilience, there's still some things even the mighty German cockroach can't survive.
Ethan, you let me down!
Insects can't resist that call.
So with most of the roaches raring to go, what's next for this myth?
I'm calling insects to come to me so that I can put them in these boxes and irradiate them. I know that's kind of cruel. They don't really know what's going to hit them, but science is fun, but it's not always nice.
It seems nice guy Tori is having a conscience crisis.
Exciting.
Because with insect death a possibility, this myth is pretty unusual. From savage sharks and angry arachnids to gnarling guard dogs.
Run!
Where animals are involved, it's normally the mythbusters that come off second best. But not this time. These cockroaches may be on death row, but because they were bred for use in a science lab, their days were always numbered. But if the myth is true, then no harm will come to them.
In the cockroach survival experiment, I need to make some sort of compartment that's going to hold 50 cockroaches. I need them all to get equal amount of radiations, making a little cockroach motel death, or as I'd like to call it, the Holiday End.
I suppose that's better than Roachtail, California. And once the insect containment boxes are conjured up, the guys just need to get hold of some nuclear radiation. And that should be easy.
Easy or hard?
It's the road to nowhere. The lowly conveyor belt is mankind's labor-saving tool, manufacturing aid, and even automated dog walker.
But it's also part of an incredibly controversial conundrum. If a conveyor belt was going the takeoff speed of an airplane in one direction, can it stop that airplane from taking off in the other direction? Or would the plane simply take to the skies? So far, Adam and Jamie have graduated from flight school. All they need now is a conveyor belt. And this not-so-run-of-the-mill human treadmill should be enough to get this myth up and running.
We know what speed the plane needs to take off, so we've set the treadmill to go that speed. We're going to put the plane.
I need to go faster. I need to have some penis and cock.
And with the airplane's takeoff speed being 11.3 miles per hour, both the plane and the belt are set to that magic number.
That's awesome. I've read literally thousands of pages of vitriolic commentary and argument on the web about airplanes on a conveyor belt, but nowhere did I find anyone who would put an airplane on a conveyor belt. That's just what we're about to do in scale here. And hopefully we're about to answer some really important questions.
Yeah, we're doing all night. We're doing like an all-nighter kind of, so yeah.
And he finds out it's not all insane.
I'm sensing a problem.
Those wheels are so flimsy.
They are so flimsy and they're just moving around.
The plane's flimsy wheels are getting trapped in the belt, making takeoff like this impossible. So, what's plan B?
I can help it stay centered with my hands while you're juicing it.
Okay. It can go forward or up.
Right. Okay.
Adam's engineered a flight plan to steer the plane, and carefully making sure he's not pushing it forward, it's all systems go.
It's an airplane on a conveyor belt, dude. It's one of the great questions of the internet.
Ain't that the truth? But it's not answered yet, Adam.
We'll set it to fat burn.
Fat burn, nice.
So with the treadmill set to fat burn in one direction, Jamie's plane burns rubber in the other direction. But Houston, we have a problem. Orville and Wilbur Wright took years to perfect airplane steering. But Adam and Jamie have only got until the next commercial break.
Go ahead and ramp it up.
Luckily, they get their act together. But is that a result?
And we thought it was going to do what?
It went right off the end of the conveyor belt.
No.
Yes.
Yes. With the conveyor belt going 11.3 miles per hour in reverse, Jamie accelerated the plane up to match that speed. And get this, the plane moved forward. However, it didn't have a chance to get airborne because the treadmill is too short.
The question is, can it take off on the treadmill? This isn't long enough for this thing to get up enough speed to take off.
So we need a longer treadmill.
We need a longer treadmill, and I don't see how we can modify this to be long enough.
When you wake up with pink eye, you get your prescription fast. In like an hour. Walmart Express.
I had pink eye and I didn't get my new prescription.
Deliver that fast.
You don't have pink eye, you're just being stupid.
Dunkin' Refreshers. Available in mango pineapple. All new tropical guava.
I had pink eye the other day.
Strawberry dragon fruit. Get a medium for $3.
I think I did.
$3. That's refreshing.
On your own time. Checking in. When you think of me. And
Ballerina, rated R.
Gary, used car shopping can't hurt you.
What if I repair?
The guys are investigating an atomic bomb of a myth. Reputed to survive the deadly radiation from a nuclear explosion, apparently cockroaches will inherit the Earth. But will they be alone?
What we have here is a fruit fly containment unit.
Carrie, Tori, and Grant have 3 species of insects and some handy insect containment units. Now, all they need is a nuclear bomb.
I've been combing the black market. I've been searching the internet and finding a nuclear bomb is not as easy as you might think.
Fortunately, our researchers have managed to find a lab that's willing to work with us.
Yeah, apparently they have a cobalt-60 radiation source that they're willing to let us test with.
Awesome. I can't believe we're actually going to do this myth.
Well, believe it, Carrie, because it's all going to go down at the Pacific Northwest Laboratory. Inside the imposing structure, Tori meets radiation expert Michelle Johnson.
All right, so Michelle, this is where we're going to be irradiating the insects, right?
Right, we have a cobalt-60 source in here, and it produces a radiation level of about 55,000 R per hour, which is enough
Rads.
to kill you in about 10 minutes. Enough to kill you in about 10 minutes. Kill you in about 10 minutes.
As Tori picks his jaw up off the floor, let's get this straight. They're not using a nuclear bomb to irradiate the insects, but a highly dangerous radioactive metal called cobalt-60. They'll use this metal to irradiate their insects at 3 different exposure settings called rads. Test 1 will be 1,000 rads. Test 2, 10,000. And test 3, 100,000. And alarmingly, even the lowest dose is really bad news for a human.
Can you just give me an idea of what 1,000 rads would do to a human being?
If you were exposed to 1,000 rads, it would kill you. Usually when we talk about radiation exposure, we're talking about effects to the gut, because the first thing to go is your intestines, and then everything in your body just kind of dumps out through your butt.
So not only are you going to die, but you're going to die in a really embarrassing way.
Uncomfortable, embarrassing way, that's
Okay.
right.
That's what happens in real life. But in Tori's world, fact and fantasy are hopelessly intertwined.
So once this machine is on, I mean, you'd be stupid to want to stick your head in it.
And while Tori is turning zombie, what's Grant's reckoning on the radiation?
We've got 3 different types of insects. The lowly cockroach, which is, the one that the myth is all about. We've also got flower beetles and fruit flies. Now, my guess is that the cockroach is not going to do as well as the other 2 sets of flies. When you're talking about surviving radiation, simpler is better.
So a simpler and smaller biological system might be the key to survival. And with the bugs all set, it's go time for the 1,000 rad test.
What happens is the radiation source will come up to the porthole here, and then we'll have a beam of radiation that will be exposing our insects.
With the first bugs in place, a push of a button reveals the alarmingly lethal radiation source.
Right now, we're radiating our cockroaches, our fruit flies, and our flower beetles at 1,000 rads. Now that is the lethal dose for humans, right on the other side of that wall. And to make it even scarier, we're told we can't go past this line. Safe, unsafe. Safe, unsafe.
It's undoubtedly one of the most dangerous experiments in the history of Mythbusters. For human beings, a mere line on the floor separates life and death. But after 3 minutes in the firing line, will the insects be incinerated?
Fruit flies are going to be fruit fries.
The Mythbusters are no strangers to controversy. They campaign for free energy. It's breaking free of the bonds of the energy conglomerate. And took on the man in the Great Gas Conspiracy.
Okay, let's go to that test.
But now they're tackling the most debated myth in Mythbusters history.
Great questions of the internet.
If an airplane was on a conveyor belt and both were going the same speed but in opposite directions, would the plane be held in place or would it take off? So far, it's been a turbulent ride. The plane's gone forward on the conveyor belt, but it hasn't taken off. And that means the boys need a new plan.
We need a longer treadmill, and I don't see how we can modify this to be long enough.
Well, how about a sheet of butcher paper, just a long roll of it, and just yank it?
That's great. That's terrific. All we need for that test is to figure out what the shortest distance this could become airborne in.
So a long piece of butcher paper will act as the new conveyor belt. But first, the boys need to find out exactly how long to make their paper treadmill.
So I'm marking this out on the floor so we can start at point 0. Know exactly how many feet it takes this.
Hello, what's up? Hello. We're doing an all-nighter, so how's everyone doing?
Take off test 1, Jamie, whenever you're ready. Dude, that took off to like 20 feet.
With the takeoff distance sorted. What's next?
So the myth is that an airplane with a conveyor belt.
Hello, we're just doing an all-nighter, so I just thought I'd kill some time. So we're trying to do an all-nighter. We'll be able to, right now it's like 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have to stand for a couple hours, so yeah. If we stand until like, so if we let stand for a couple hours, we're good.
I'm going to get up to about 12 miles an hour over the takeoff speed. Jamie's going to kick this plane into here, and if it can take off before it leaves the paper, then I think this myth is not looking very good. Motor conveyor belt test in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, stop. No.
Oh, it just goes to show what looks good on paper doesn't always work in practice.
No. The plane went off before I had even controlled it.
Struggling to keep his plane on the right track. And to keep his cool, Jamie is one hell of a frustrated flyboy.
Sorry. Look, here's the deal. This myth is so stupid that it's embarrassing. I'm almost ashamed to put this out there.
Well, he's not a happy camper. But maybe a little runway maintenance will help his piloting skills.
So how's everyone doing right now?
And settle this global dispute once and for all.
Okay, I'm ready to start. You all ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
After so many false starts and so much controversy,
Is that a flying plane?
That is a flying plane, and it was on the paper when it took off.
Excellent.
confounding and confusing, the plane didn't stay where it was. It moved forward and took off before the end of the conveyor belt.
My chariot was going about 11.5 miles per hour at the very moment the plane reached the end of this runway.
Here's the thing. If the myth is that a plane on a conveyor belt can't take off, we just had a plane on a conveyor belt and it took off.
And what's more, they have a theory as to why.
Are you having fun?
I am.
And
All right, I'm trying to use this car to demonstrate where I think people get mixed up. Forward speed of the car is exactly the same as the backward speed of the conveyor belt, thus the car remains stationary, and this is why people think that the plane's not taking off, because there it is, it's stationary, it's not moving.
yeah, but cars and airplanes move by different means. The car is sending power to its wheels. That's what makes it move forward or backward or keep up with the conveyor belt. Airplanes have free spinning wheels, and they move because there's a propeller pushing air, which makes the airplane go forward.
Exactly. So I remove power to the wheels of this car, thus turning it into a plane, and then my hand pushing will represent the force of the propeller pushing against the air, and I feel almost no resistance on the conveyor belt, so the plane moves forward.
And it takes off.
Exactly.
So let's get this straight. A car gets its thrust through its wheels, creating forward motion using the ground it's on. But a plane gets its thrust through its engines, which are independent of its wheels, and so is not affected by the ground, or in this case, the conveyor belt. When engines are on, forward motion will happen. That's the theory. But to cement their place in history, the Mythbusters are going full scale with a manned aircraft and the mother of all conveyor belts. The question is, will they get airborne?
Go!
Back at Roach HQ, the 1,000 rad radiation test is over.
Is it safe to go in?
It's more than enough to kill a human. But what's the cockroach carnage?
Fruit flies are still moving. Fire beetles still moving. Cockroaches still moving.
Remarkably, all the bugs seem to be alive, at least for now.
These guys are still alive. They're not looking incredibly active.
Because radiation works on a cellular level, exposure may not take effect immediately. So each set of bugs is put into containers, which will then be monitored over a 30-day period.
We just did our first test at 1,000 rad. The bugs look all right, so we're moving on to the second test, which is 10,000 rad.
So in test 2, the dial gets cranked up by a factor of 10.
cameras inside the exposure area. And what you can see right now is interference on the picture, and that's caused by the radiation source.
It's affecting the cameras, but luckily it isn't affecting Brent.
I have to admit that it is a little freaky to go into the room, but I'm starting to understand that just because we subject the bugs to radiation doesn't make them radioactive materials.
They're still moving.
That's it.
Nice.
Just like last time, they're all still alive, even after 10,000 rats. But only time will tell how long these bugs will last.
Now we're going to step it up. We're going to 100,000 rats. That is 100 times the lethal dose for a human. That is melting faces at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark staring.
Let's zap them.
And while the last set of bugs are being zapped, Raiders of the Lost Ark style, Brent's found out the background to this myth.
Hey, you know what I found out about the science of radiation?
No, what?
Well, we know that radioactivity was discovered by Henri Becquerel in the late 1880s, but it wasn't until more recently that scientists found out that it's the sensitive tissues, like those in our bone marrow or our intestinal tract, that make us more susceptible to poisoning by radiation than other species.
Right. That's where I suppose the myth comes from. The cockroaches would outsurvive humans after nuclear fallout.
Yeah, exactly. The theory is that the more simple body structures of the insects should make them less susceptible to radiation than us.
Well, that's the theory. But after the 100,000 rat test, the news ain't good for the bugs.
I can't believe you got pink eye, Ferris. When you wake up with pink eye, you get your prescription fast. In like an hour with Walmart Express delivery. I wonder what else Walmart could deliver that fast.
I don't care about that.
It's mesmerizing. Cleaning that greasy mess with Dawn Platinum.
And not even scrubbing.
Fluff my feathers. It cuts through the slimy stuff better than their old dish soap, removing 99% of grease. That's why only Dawn is trusted to save life.
Google Pixel 9a is built to withstand spills, dust, and drops. So the only thing to worry about is taking in all of that beauty. Google Pixel 9a, durable by design.
Can you tell which app is a trap?
My spot, my drop, my spot, my drop. Oh my gosh. From the looks of it, there might be like 10% still alive. It's frightening.
Nearly all of Test 3's cockroaches have died. But from the looks of the other bug boxes, this test ain't over yet.
So we've got all of our bugs here that have been exposed to the various levels of radiation, 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000 rad. And we've got a fourth group, and that is the control set. The only difference is that they haven't been exposed to any radiation. We'll be able to use that to compare to the bugs that have been irradiated and see how they do.
So it's back to the show. But the question is, will the bugs survive or will they drop like flies? The sum of all fears. But would cockroaches survive the radiation of a nuclear explosion and inherit the Earth? In this classic modern myth, Carrie, Tori, and Brent have blasted 3 species of insect with 3 increasing levels of radiation. Will the cockroach be the ultimate survivor?
Hopefully they haven't mutated into some crazy monsters.
Back at the shop, what's the bug bulletin?
Okay, so here's the plan. We have 12 boxes of insects, 4 of cockroaches, 4 of flower beetles, and 4 of fruit flies. We'll be monitoring them over the next 30 days, counting every dot.
The job of insect coroner may sound grim, But for the Mythbusters, it's important to keep upbeat.
We got a breach.
And once more, they're making sure the bugs on death row are being well looked after.
We'll be given all the food and water they need. We'll check in on the 15-day and 30-day increments. And we'll see if the cockroach is in fact the ultimate survivor.
So with 2 weeks to wait until the next dead count,
I'm just gonna go kick yours, do some more videos. We're doing pretty good on the videos, aren't we? Yeah, we're doing pretty good on the videos.
and this is perfect. A foamy fable straight from the fan side.
Just for a little bit and go to bed.
What the hell are we doing this for? Look, there is actually a myth associated with it. If you take a can of shaving cream and you freeze it, if you take off the outside, put it in someone's car, it'll expand to fill the car.
Shaving cream is a practical joke staple for any frat boy funster or turkey prankster. But as the internet rumor suggests, could 1 can of frozen shaving cream really inflate to fill a car?
The first step in this myth is to freeze the can of shaving cream. Leave it in there for a few hours, and while that's freezing, I'm gonna go get cleaned up.
All right, I have my shaving cream. It's frozen solid. Now all I need to do is cut off the can. Hopefully it won't explode in my face. What I should be left with is a cylinder of frozen shaving cream. And I'll stick that into the car, and hopefully as it starts to thaw, it'll expand and fill up the whole car. Quick, close the door.
This caper promises a car bursting with bubbles. But Tori's scoring this myth low on the crankometer. Lower even than the infamous biscuit bullet.
This is probably the lamest prank I've ever seen. There's no way this can of shaving cream is going to fill the entire car.
Obviously, Tori thinks this fan site toiletry tale stinks. But 5 hours later,
Oh my God! Quick! Get over here! Look at this! Look! What?
Nothing.
That is so unamazing.
clearly they're unimpressed with the phone's lack of inflation. But these merry pranks.
What are you guys doing to that Beamer?
Yeah.
Lame prank. You know, we did buy 50 cans.
So it's take 2, and this time it's 50 cans into the freezer.
Barbasol.
It was a flash.
Alright, we gotta move fast. These things are gonna start defrosting.
It's a race against time as Grant and Tori grind open all 50 frozen cans. But once the car's loaded up, the hours pass in the blink of an eye.
Oh! You know what? Nothing. Well, but you know what? That's expanded a lot more than I thought it would. This isn't a prank. It's a minor inconvenience. What you expect with a prank like this, you know, shaving cream bursting out of the windows.
Fans suggested shaving foam, and it's a flop. But rest assured, the Mythbusters have a last plan up their sleeve.
The next step is we're going to ramp it up. We are going to create a situation where foam is going to come out of the windows, possibly explode the car.
In 1908, thousands doubted the Wright Flyer would succeed. In 1968, hundreds of thousands argued the first 747 was too big to fly. And in 2008, millions are clashing over the myth of playing on a conveyor belt.
Excellent.
That little airplane took off just like I thought it would. So, Mythbusted, right?
Not so fast, man. You know we can't leave it there. You know this debate would never be quelled until you and I did it full scale, and that's just what we have to do.
Well, you know what that means.
Yes, I do. It means a real plane, and it means a really big conveyor belt.
And hey presto, this should do it. A 2,000-foot length of tarpaulin, which they can drag behind a truck to create the biggest conveyor belt in history. And with that sorted, they cruise down to Castle Airport.
I love it. That thing's great.
Where they meet the other ingredient for this myth, Kamikaze ultralight pilot Mark Johnson.
It's the Cadillac of ultralights. It's 400 pounds, the engine's 100, so the plane itself's only 300, and it'll take off straight up 1,200 feet a minute. It's quite amazing.
It's amazing, but will it take off on the conveyor belt?
Well, I'm eager to get going. Will you run this through its paces so we can get some actual measurements off of it before we start testing?
Sure.
Fantastic.
It's bigger scale and a bigger challenge with Mark's life on the line. Just like in small scale, the Mythbusters need distance and speed measurements to get this myth off the ground.
All right, distance to take off. Good to go.
Jamie gets clearance. Mark floors it. And in no time at all,
Takeoff distance, 85 feet. That's fantastic for us.
fantastic. Next, the guys need the takeoff speed.
We got the cockpit camera that we put on the airspeed indicator in miles per hour. Let's see what its takeoff speed was. Yeah, about 25 miles an hour.
And with speed and distance covered, it's time to launch full scale. First up, Mark's ultralight will be moved onto the tarpaulin treadmill. Then Jamie will attach his pickup to the end of the tarp. He'll pull it at 25 miles per hour in the opposite direction to the ultralight, just as Mark tries to take off. That's the plan. So where's the tarp?
We've got 2,000 feet of 12-foot wide tarp, which we're going to drag behind Jamie's pickup truck, effectively making the world's biggest conveyor belt.
It's the jumbo jet of conveyor belts, and an excited Adam has swapped his two-wheeled chariot for something a little bigger.
Here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking we drop this burrito of tarp on the ground, attach it to it, and then drag it all the way down the runway. What do you think?
Okay.
It's a simple plan, which Adam, playing the role of the airplane, demonstrates. But there's trouble when he rips holes in the tarp.
Sorry.
And that's not the only problem.
So it's not as simple as we thought. The wind's shifting down the runway. It's only about 10 to 15 degrees, but each time it shifts, it's throwing this whole thing in a tizzy.
It seems traditional Mythbuster patience has gone with the wind.
You're going to stop. I don't know where the we're going. If this wind is heading up the runway, we can't do anything.
Oh, well, it's time to apply the air brakes. So Jamie calls it quits.
Well, as you can see, the wind has picked up. That's a big problem. So we're out of here. We're going to be back early in the morning.
It's the most requested fan myth ever. So failure to launch is not an option for the Mythbusters. Tomorrow is their last chance to blow away this myth.